It's Deprogram, the podcast where we try to get you into a band. That's right. Today we are going to open your eyes. We have done all the work for you. All you have to do is push play, and there is a price to play, and many other Stained songs. So today we're talking about Stained, and I know what you're thinking. Why? Well, you're wrong, and we're going to tell you why. I'm not sure which one of you put it on the board, but I believe it came up right after we did Guano Apes. I'm almost positive. Brian was like, hey, me and Ryan want to do Stained together. Or it may have even came up on after the fact. So I'm going to go Brian first because I'm pretty sure Brian reached out to me about it. So Brian, talk to me about Stained and why we need to talk about them today.
Yeah, I believe I put it in the suggestion, but I put with Ryan.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I volunteered him for it or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or we we were talking. So Stained is one of the bands that we use sometimes in our group chat where we talk shit about music to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have a friend who does not like Aaron Lewis, and we bust his balls that he did a better version of Black than Pearl Jam did, which obviously
Not true.
But anyway, so Stained is definitely one of those bands. They kind of go into again, we're listing genres. They kind of get sucked into the post grunge genre, / new metal,
Mm-hmm.
which I guess they kind of fit both. I'm not a big fan of the post grunge label, whatever. I just think they were. I know they were huge in our area because they're a local band for us, but I actually wasn't sure what their national outreach was. I think I asked Justin did they play Stand a lot down where you are because they were everywhere here. So yeah, I thought it'd be cool to talk about them. They did have a sound change. They started out very new metal, did evolve into that 2000s rock, which I'm sure I'll get into later because I have things about that. And then kind of back to where they started. So it's a good band. I think they do get kind of shit on for whatever reason. They get lumped and kind of forgotten about, but yeah, good thing to talk about.
Well, they get lumped into Nickelback territory, and we'll cross all these bridges, I'm sure, as we start.
Me too, and I have a lot to say.
We'll cross all these bridges as we come across them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
So Ryan, you didn't even get to technically sign up, but clearly you're for it. So Stain, tell me about it.
Yeah. So as you were saying, Brian was saying they're a regional band for us. Our Hartford rock station was one of two stations to play them, and that was kind of like a sister station in Boston that were kind of, I guess you could say, broke them.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember hearing our old music director at the station was before the song was over, the first time we played it, people lit up the phone who is this? We want to hear more of them. So it was kind of cool. I always like to tell people when I was in high school, my bus stop was at a liquor store, and across the street from the liquor store was this I think it was a Diablo's biker bar, and Stained used to play there all the time. I think, like you said, they had that late 90s, early 2000s, like you said, the new metal sound to it. And then they almost pulled an Incubus and went kind of acoustic, adult contemporary rock, I guess you could say. With definitely a different sound, but it was a good evolution of them, I thought. And now, even going back through this, I was like, wow, there is a huge difference. And then, from albums 1 and 2 to 3, 4, 5 type thing, And it was just kind of cool to go back and listen to that and just kind of remember where we were when those were happening, because it was obviously like I said, it was the first two albums were huge in our area, so everybody listened to them. So it'd be good.
So here in Virginia, we got Mud Shovel was pretty big, and Home was the follow up to that, if I recall my timeline correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can't remember which was the lead single from Break the Cycle, but whenever Outside hit, we didn't get the album version. We got the Fred Durst version, obviously. And that was, I think we got 5 singles from Break the Cycle. So like it was pretty big here. This is a band that I guess maybe I didn't realize how closely tied I was to Stained. When I think about those first 2 records, now I as mentioned, Mud Shovel and Home hit the airwaves here, and they got played a lot. I didn't like or dislike, it was just like on the radio, and I was like, okay, cool. There's this band, and then I remember when Break the Cycle came out, being super into it. And being like, okay, I'm going to be Metal Justin now, and this is going to be my new jam, and like just being really into Break the Cycle, and then going backwards and getting really into Dysfunction. So like those 2 records, it's funny, like the timing of when we record this is the week after we did the Twisted show, and Twisted, ICP, Stained, System of a Down to a little lesser extent, like those were like the staples of that early 2000s for me. And like they got me through so many things, and brought up those first 2 records specifically brought up so much emotion from me. And I just kind of, I guess, I never turned into Aaron Lewis guy, but I definitely swept them under the rug after chapter 14 Shades of Grey. Like I remember chapter 5 coming out, but by then I had swept them under the rug and I was done with them. Like I remember Right Here hitting the radio. I remember that, but I remember just being like, whatever. Like I don't need Stained in my life anymore. But the takeaway here, before we move on to the next part of this is I don't want to say surprising, but I was surprised at how like consistent this discography is. Like usually there's like some easy throwaway tracks, and some of that between the first 3 records for me is there's nostalgia at play. But even from chapter 5 on, I didn't find very much easy to throw away, which makes me wonder, like Bryan, as you're doing your 20 for this, did you find it the same way? Was it pretty consistent for you?
No, there was a point that I was like, okay, so like so this is like no digs at anybody or whatever, anybody's musical preference. I have a great disdain for generic 2000s rap. It's where I know you guys did Shine Down, and I can't anything where I hear the music and it could be one of 4 bands, I don't want to hear it. So Stain did get to a point where they fell into that generic 2000s rock, where I'm listening, I'm like, oh, is this Puddle of Mud? And I'm like, I'm sure people who are older than me felt the same way about like generic 90s rock.
Mm-hmm.
So like I just hit that point at one point. And then I felt like they kind of like brought it back. So when I did my list, like, yeah, when I hit those generic 2000s rock songs, it was tough for me. Like I did want to represent them because it is part of their discog. But I can't remember what the name of the album is. It's like the second to last album. Like I had a real tough time with that one just because a lot of it sounded the same, and I just wanted to get through that one as fast as possible. but I also try to limit my singles, but at the same time, I added a song today that I originally had cut only because I still have PTSD from last Tuesday. I was hoping you weren't gonna say. I was hoping you weren't gonna say the T word because I don't want to ever think about it again because that episode just broke me. Um, but I did go back and add, in particular, one single that I just like, nah. But I don't know. Hopefully it goes better too.
So, Ryan, you were telling me just before we went on that not necessarily most difficult one you've done yet, but you definitely had more come to the table. So, how did you go about putting your 20 together for this?
So, yeah, it was. I was telling you before we started. Like, usually, I just put a list. I put a note on my phone, and I put 1 through 20, and I'm like, all right, what songs would I put on there to somebody that never heard of them to kind of hit up their stuff and let them kind of introduce them. And there was a couple that I was like, okay, this one, this one, this one, these are definitely going on there. But then I was going back through and I was like, okay, this song, I remember this one was good. This one was good. And then I was like, but I'm going to put this one at the bottom. Like maybe I'll fill it in if I really can't get to something. And I think when I listen to stuff, especially probably the third and fourth album, um, I think I was at just a different part of growing up of my, through my life that I was like, back then I was pretty angry at a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
So the heavier songs, I was just like, yeah, this is what I like. It's like there's raw emotion. And I went back and listened to it the other day, and I was like, you know what? It wasn't really as good as I thought it was. So I think I leaned towards some other sounds that they had. There's definitely like that Stained sound from early on that is represented in it, but I also wanted to show some like the other, I guess you could say the anti-Bryan rock that was in it. Like there was just like maybe it's just where I'm at now. Like I don't have those same feelings that I did then. So it's like you said, Justin. There was a really emotional part of growing up listening to them, and it was like that part of my life that I was always just in that mood. So the music fit really well, and it doesn't fit as well anymore, but there's still that feeling. Like I still remember how good it was when it was there.
Yeah. So, the biggest thing for me was trying to separate. So when we, I'm bringing up Twisted again. When we did Twisted, there's like this feeling of nostalgia, and like I was gravitating towards it, and I could tell it was nostalgia. Right now, with Stained, I didn't get that. Like I couldn't tell whether I was getting pulled from nostalgia or if I was getting pulled because this is what Stained sounds like, which to me is a good thing, but it does make making a list a problem. So like, yeah, before we even like we decided what we were doing and that we were going to do the episode, and I just looked at the first three. This is again one of those ones where first three records I pretty much knew front to back, so I didn't really have to listen to make most of my preliminary list. So like I had 21, I think, after the first three. I was like, okay, so this is not going to be great. But and then I went through the last couple records and I found it consistent. Now, saying that, I do kind of tend to agree that when it comes to making a list and when it comes to something like this, I want to point people towards the beginning and let them go and find the stuff towards the back, because ultimately, and here's why, and we'll get across. There's a 1-2 punch at one point, pretty early on in the discography, that I was listening to one of the songs and I looked up the lyrics because I was making sure that I had them right. And then the next song that comes after it is a song that really really like I was in the pickup line waiting to pick up my kid today, and I don't want to say like I bawled, but I definitely cried. Like tears were streaming down my face, and I was like, well, you know, even if I miss this one, there's no way I can take it off my list now. Like it's got to stay because now I have a story to tell about it. But yeah, like that was the biggest thing, like trying to figure out. I found it easier to separate nostalgia from good song starting with 14 Shades of Grey. Like break the cycle and dysfunction. Like it's, that line is so blurry. Like because of how much I listened to those records, like it's very blurry.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that takes us to the next layer of the conversation, because it sounds like we're kind of, you know, this doesn't sound like total disagreement, but it does sound like we may have approached our lists differently. So, Brian, what do you think for the final say? How many do you think we're going to get through unanimously?
You know what? I think I'm still gonna stick with 5.
Okay.
I think it's a good safe number. Yeah, 5.
Okay. And before I ask you, Ryan, there's like 2 that I left off my list that might end up controversial. Hopefully not, but we'll see.
Uh-oh.
Ryan, what do you think?
Well, in that case, I'm going to go with 4.
Okay.
I'm looking at my list now, and I'm like, that one. Yeah, I'll stick with 4.
All right. So then do I? Because my gut feeling, my general feeling is positivity. Like that we're going to overshoot that 5. We're going to get the 6. That's my general feeling. Right. But there's a couple songs that are kind of, that feel like maybe they might be up in the air. So, which way do I swing? I'll go positive. I'm going to go with 6. Because this one I feel like if I do somehow win, I'm okay. I'm okay with that kind of weight. I'm okay with that kind of pressure. I do have. There are some favorites that if they don't get in, I'll be able to, you know, pick up and put in there. So, all right. With that, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it's time to put a list together, because that's what we do here. It's Deprogrammed. And with that, the name of the game is Deprogrammed. The 3 of us have combed through the Staind discography and plucked out 20 songs that we're now going to mash together in an attempt to tape a podcast, in an attempt to create a top 10 starter kit for you in case you have never listened to Staind, and how dare you? Let's fix that. Look, it sucks to do that. I did this last night. I don't think I did this last week, but I do this frequently. But with Staind, you kind of have to, like, you got to set the ground rules. You gotta know what this band is, and they tell you right from the jump. How about Suffocate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. I mean, you know, of course, right? Like,
oh yeah. Yeah, track one, and
Yeah.
you know, I believe, yeah, there's a couple of songs on that first album, like when that music is playing, like it's so like new metal, and you're like, is this Korn? And so like you hear his voice, like, yeah, this is definitely a banger.
oh, what's funny is I forgot to mention this. I think part of what happened to Staind is they also got lumped in with, so Korn breaks Limp Bizkit breaks Staind, right? And then so
yeah.
Fred launches Staind, Cold, and Eve 6, all like roughly around the same time. 3 very different bands, but they're forever like at the hip now because of Fred Durst. So that's a whole conversation maybe for later. But
yeah,
there we go. 1 in. Let me make sure I put that on the list here. Suffocate. All right, Brian.
all right. So I do have like like a favorite. Well, I have a couple of favorite Stain songs, but I have a favorite Stain song that like I only knew as a single because I didn't have the album, and I'm just gonna go for it. Falling.
Falling. No, I don't have that.
No, it was one I thought about.
Oh my god. Was yeah. This is coming out of trash if we get that 5. I don't care.
Never, ever, ever lead with the favorite, Bryan. Oh my gosh. You know this by now.
Oh my god, I'm like addicted to this song. I could play it like just on loop.
No,
And like I never had chapter 5, but I was just obsessed with the song as a single.
Well, unfortunately we let you down, but Ryan, let's see where you want to go.
Let's see. I'm gonna go. Probably not my favorite song. Probably my second favorite song they do. And it's going back to the old stuff. It's at Home.
No, I didn't take Home.
No, I didn't either. I didn't either.
Really?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh,
Are you
God.
serious?
I
had to limit my singles. I felt like I had to.
Oh.
So
when that was like you said, like nostalgia, like hit you in the emotions.
Yeah.
When that came out, like that song hit hard.
So you mentioned, or I mentioned when you first came on, like I was, regretting decisions. And when that song came on, I was like, oh, I think I might have missed here. And I immediately remembered it being on the radio. Like when it came up, when I listened to Dysfunction, like it when it was on my first pass, it didn't register. And then when I was listening to the whole playlist just before we went on, I was like, ooh, I think I'm wrong here. All right. Well, off to a pretty terrible start, but there's still so much out there.
It could definitely be worse.
It very much could. It very much could. And it may have been at one point. Shoot, I hate to stay on Dysfunction, but like I have listed firmly as my number 2. So like, and it's the number 2 in the playlist. Just Go.
No,
I didn't put that one.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
My
god.
For the record, this is one of the few answers we actually got for this band.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Oh my god.
Bryan?
No, I'm getting PTSD here, Justin. All right. Okay, so this song I originally had cut because I said it's too basic, but hopefully you guys picked it. It's the crossover single. It was played on every single station, no matter what they played. It's been a while.
Okay, I don't.
Yeah, that was on mine.
It's got a 2.
Yeah, okay.
That was one of my controversial ones. Yeah.
It is. I didn't have it originally. I'm like, no, I'm not using It's Been a While because it's a top 40 hit. I'm like, but then after like Tuesday, I was like, no. I gotta go with something easy. So I scrapped a different song for It's Been a While, which might come back to bite me, but we'll see.
I do. part of why I didn't pick it was, radio exhaustion. Part of it is, I feel like they do that sound a little bit better on a different song that I picked later in the discography. I know what you're saying. I get it, but like,
right,
the ones later in the discography didn't get the same exhaustion that It's Been a While got.
Yeah.
So like it was fresher to my ear. So
yeah. I shouldn't be surprised. Justin was the guy who didn't pick No Rain for Blind Melon.
Right?
What?
It didn't even make our list.
No, it didn't. It absolutely did not. And I feel good. I feel exonerated. I feel okay about it.
I honestly think I only know 3 Blind Melon songs.
Okay, well, that's a good episode.
And that was one of them.
Yeah.
The other 2 are on there.
Yeah.
Well, one of them was their cover of Three is a Magic Number. That's
so
about
good.
it.
Oh.
The magic number. All right, Ryan.
All right. Number one, not my favorite song, but it was number one on my list, is How About You?
Yeah, I got it.
Yes.
Hey, there we
Nice.
go.
Yes.
To me, that's the one I was talking about. With It's Been a While, is I feel like How About You is just a hair better than It's Been a While. Actually,
Gotcha.
technically speaking, I think it's way better. But like, I think it does what It's Been a While does better than It's Been a While does. I really like How About You. Oh, hold on.
Yeah, it's good song. Yeah, I had a tough time with getting that album, like not taking like almost like I don't know. It was tough picking some out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Look at that. We got two.
That's two.
So that goes back to me.
Yeah.
Oh. Well. Should I bring up the crying song now, or should I go to one of the other ones? I'll wait on the crying song. I'll go to what I have listed as my number 3. How about For You?
No.
It was one of my spares. It's at the very bottom of maybe I'll put this in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
dang.
It was those singles just went into like a cup and got picked out randomly.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Dang. Oh, okay. All right, Brian?
Given a good song, it was really tough cut. All right, let's go. So this was the only song I liked off. Not the only song I liked. The only song that really stood out for me off this album. Pardon Me.
Wow.
Nope.
No.
Were you listening to Incubus at that time?
I was like, this better not be a cover. And then I played it. I'm like, okay, this song's actually.
I don't have it, but that one definitely was on my first pass. I just kind of found stuff from really chapter 5 on kind of easy to leave out. Just trying to find which ones.
I gotcha.
Yeah, so. All right, Ryan?
Let's go with Believe.
Dang it. Nope.
I could have sworn I had it. So, what was it? Believe?
Yeah.
Believe.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't have that.
Me neither.
I was looking at something else that had the same word in the title.
So for the record, that is one of the other few answers we got from listeners.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
Ooh.
a deep cut too, right?
What's that?
That's a deep cut too, right?
Yeah.
It was a single from the
Illusion.
Illusion of Progress. Yeah.
Okay, so that's probably
okay.
All right. Wow. Well, how about Suffer?
No.
I am starting to suffer.
We are starting to suffer.
I'm wishing I would have gone with the under.
Well, we got a long way to go.
I mean, yeah, there's plenty of gameplay, but like,
yeah.
All right, Brian.
Let's go with Price to Play.
Yeah, I got it.
That was one of my maybe it'll make the list. It's at the bottom, but it didn't make my list.
Okay.
So it's got a 2.
Oh, got 2.
That was a single, so it was like, again.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was the lead single off of Shades of Grey, but
it was. Yeah.
I remember it hitting and being
yeah.
like, "Oh, cool, new Stained." And then like when I got the record, I I listened to it so much, and unlike a lot of the other radio songs, it never really kind of wore out on me. Like when I picked this back up to listen to it, I was like, "Oh, cool, I still like this song,"
Uh-huh.
so it's in. So, all right, Ryan.
I'm gonna go with this song, and this is because Brian had told me to give it a listen. And it's "Lowest in Me," the new single they have out.
Mm, I don't have it.
It's kind of a throwback to early stuff. It's a lot heavier than the last couple albums, at least the last couple of like lead singles. And I listened to it a couple times yesterday. And I was like, yeah, this is I'm getting behind that.
I don't have it.
Well,
I'm glad you brought it up though, because the day this releases, the album should come out the next day, I believe, the 29th. This should be out the 28th.
oh, really?
I think.
Nice.
I think that's where it's going to work out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there's like 3 singles out now, and I think they're pretty good.
Yeah.
okay, I don't know where to go, you guys. Like some of the ones that felt like were pretty. All right. How about "Open Your Eyes"?
Yes.
No.
Wow.
Yeah. I was going to say that song next.
Well, do we? Let's see. We've got our work cut out for us, fellas.
Yeah, I got 5 twos. 2, 3.
We got.
I got 3 twos.
Yeah. So I mean, as it is,
Yeah.
we're looking. I mean, look, I'm freaking out. There's a lot of gameplay. I'm just looking at some of these songs.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that I'm gonna find you guys on some of these. All right, Brian.
Okay. All right. Let's just go. Let's start from the beginning, from the real beginning. Mud Shovel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
that's
That's
one
a
of those
gimme, I
songs. Yeah. Once you hear that bass line, like, oh, it's just like,
Oh yeah.
here we go.
So it's lucky that I still like it, because this definitely got played a lot. It still gets played a lot here.
Oh yeah.
So this was one. Sometimes on the show, like there's a hit that I want to leave off because I just don't want it to be unanimous. But then like I listened to it and I was like, you know what? If it's unanimous, it's cool. It should be. I don't want to be it's not something that I'm like, we can do this episode without it. You know what I mean? Like I didn't feel strong enough to take it off. You know what I mean? And when you listen to it, it's like, this is what Stain sounds like anyway. Like this is probably up there in our number one conversation when we get there, right? Like, so
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. It does us no good to ignore it.
Right.
All right, there we go. Ryan.
I got 3.
All right. I'm gonna go. Here's our number 4. I'm just because it was probably their biggest song is "Outside."
Yes.
No.
Whoa.
Jude. I'll give you four words. I'm feeling those lighters.
Okay, then take the album version.
I honestly didn't like the album version as much.
It wasn't as good.
Oh wow.
But
That live version was pretty killer. I mean,
it's great, but suddenly
Yeah.
Fred Durst comes in, and it's like, I could have done without that.
Oh my god. I just have to say for the record that I love Fred Durst.
Oh, me too, actually.
Yeah.
But at the time, like
Yeah.
I didn't. I hated his guts at the time. So and him coming in, I'm feeling those lighters. It's like, oh, get out of here! Like, you're ruining a song that I actually really like. How dare you? And I told you this is a controversial one. Like this one, when we get there, I can understand making the list, but this is a song there's no way I was putting my stamp on to get in unanimously. You know what I mean? Same thing with It's Been a While. Those two, I think It's Been a While is the better song, but like either or really, you know, I'm not gonna really stand in the way. Just those two I couldn't let be unanimous. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I don't feel good about any of these. All right, let's trot this one out. Pressure.
No.
No, I had it and I cut it. I cut it for It's Been a While.
That is nuts.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
All
right, Bryan.
Okay. All right. We haven't hit the self-titled album yet, which I mean, I freaking loved. I thought because I didn't like the album before it, so I felt like the self-titled was like a rebirth. Not again.
I got that.
Nope.
All right, so it's a 2. All right, where are we here? 3 and 5. Okay, so we only need 2 more into the combo before NTP dies. All right, Ryan?
I'm going to go with Fill Me Up.
No.
I doubt that one made it to anybody else's.
Nope.
No.
Nope. I don't even remember.
Fill me up. But
all right, I keep looking at this one, but I might as well find out. My track record on the singles is not so great. How about Fade?
yes.
No.
Okay, got 2.
This is one of the singles that had for me had to be on there.
I think I don't remember my timeline, like, because I know it was Fade for You, Outside, obviously, So Far Away, and what's the other one? Why am I...
Epiphany.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I feel like it was either Fade or For You was the lead here, and I was like, oh man, that's great. And then it was like, then it was Outside, I think, and they blew up, and then it was So Far Away, maybe. I don't know. More on that later. That's
more on that later.
No need to talk about that now. Okay, so Fade was me. All right, Bryan?
All right, let's go back to the first album. Raw.
It was a close one for me. It didn't make it, but
that one I literally took off today. It was number 21.
Oh god. It's so fucking banging. So fucking dirty.
Yeah.
That first album is so dirty.
So
yeah.
I wanna take the time. This is another one of those bands. Like I know I praised like the consistency of the, but I don't think it would be wrong to say listen to Dysfunction and Break the Cycle and then go from there. I really think you can't go wrong. If you like those first 2 records, you will grow with the band just fine.
Yeah. I mean that first album that came out, it was just so like drop D, freaking heavy, and just dirty, and then like they kind of brightened up a little bit, but I don't know. We kind of get 2 worlds there.
Yeah. All right, Ryan.
From the first album, one of my other favorites is Crawl.
No.
Nope.
No.
We're gonna cover all of Dysfunction between us all.
Oh
yeah. Trust me, I could have just had my list be like Dysfunction and Break the Cycle and a couple tracks off of it on the next 2 albums and call it a day.
Yep.
Yeah. I could have just put the Dysfunction on there, and then who cares what else at that point?
Yeah.
Like I would have been fine with that.
Yeah.
All right. I don't feel good about any of these, so I'm going to just trot out one that I couldn't get out of my head. I love this jam, and it's gonna hurt if nobody has it, but it's also not gonna break my heart. How about Yesterday?
It's on mine.
Oh, no.
All right.
No.
It's such a good chorus on that
Yeah.
song.
Like it just opens up. It's like just like well, I can't. I can sing like Huey Lewis in the car, but
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I sound great with the windows up.
Yeah.
Oh, just like that. We're out of NTP. Okay, so the pressure's off, fellas. Like nothing's coming out of the garbage. All right, Bryan.
All right. Let's go. Paper Jesus.
Nope.
No, that was very, very, very late cut.
Yeah.
Actually,
A song about a drummer, as they would introduce it.
all right, Ryan.
How about So Far Away?
No,
No.
no.
No, I didn't take that one.
I think it was kind of like the same, radio blowout, because
Yeah.
I like that one a lot, though. I don't want to.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to disparage.
Mm.
All right, back to me. I'll trot out another radio song. How about Right Here?
No.
Nope.
No.
All right.
All right. I'll single my order here. Falling Down.
No.
No.
I know. I think we're getting pretty close to dump out territory. I'll count here in a second. Ryan?
What about The Way I Am?
No.
No.
Mm.
All right, so I got 7 left. I'm thinking we do one more round and then we dump out.
Okay. 6.
Man. How about King of All Excuses?
No.
No.
Okay. Bryan?
Schizophrenic Conversations.
Oh.
Thinking of it now, I probably would have, but it didn't make my list.
Oh, no.
All right, Ryan?
About Everything Changes?
Mm-mm.
No.
We are all
Yikes.
all over the map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are. Yeah, we are.
All right. So we'll just dump out here.
Yeah, I got 5.
So I'll start at the top. This is the song that I cried to today, and it comes back to back with Just Go, Me.
No.
That's a good one, though.
All right. Next up, Could It Be?
Yeah, that was on mine.
I don't.
That kind of goes with Yesterday. It's just that big hook in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm. Let's move on to chapter 5, Runaway.
No.
Dang. This Is It?
Yeah.
No.
All right. Rainy Day Parade?
No.
No.
Okay. And last but not least, The Bottom.
Nope.
Yes.
Hey.
I got it. That's what I do.
All right, so none of us win. We only got 3 through unanimously, right? Let me make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we do have a conversation here. And let's see what you got, Bryan.
Reality.
No.
Can't believe.
No.
I did a terrible cover of that in one of my bands.
Waste.
I thought about that one, and I think I kind of went back to when I listened to it. It was a time that it was really hit home, and I just didn't relate to it as much, so I took it off.
Last one. Something to remind you.
Nope.
Which is that acoustic song off that last album. So, okay.
All right. So just for fun, Ryan, you want to clear out whatever you got left?
Yeah, I've got Now, Failing, and All I Want.
All right. Failing, and all I want. There it is. All right. Well, we covered a lot of ground. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
What do we got here? 3 through unanimously, Suffocate, Mud Shovel, and How About You? That's a really good start. We got our work cut out for us. We have 10 into the conversation, which means we need to cut 3 of them. So we've got Open Your Eyes, Fade, Price to Play, Yesterday, Could It Be, This Is It, Not Again, The Bottom, It's Been a While, and Outside. So we've already got 2 singles in here. What do we think about album representation? Do we want to represent, or do we want to kind of go with our gut here and kind of do just early stuff? Or I guess,
I mean, yeah, like listen, their sound didn't, I mean, it did change, but it didn't, like, I didn't write down where the albums were, but, yeah, I don't know if we need album representation as much. Because they do kind of keep the same. That first album was just so much heavier than everything else. I don't know if we actually need like album representation, but
so let's tackle Break the Cycle first. So we've got 4 here still
Okay.
alive. We've got Open Your Eyes, Fade,
Right.
It's Been a While, and Outside. Do we want to take all 4 to take us up to 7, or are we okay with just taking 2 and dropping 2?
I would take 2. As much as
Yeah.
I do like them, I think that's 4 off of that album. I'd rather have 4 off of the first album than 4 off the second, personally.
Unfortunately, we have nothing else. We didn't hit on anything else.
I know we didn't hit anything. We were all over the place.
We were all. I think we start with It's Been a While versus Outside.
Agreed. There's no
I
need for both.
I think that's the first battle.
Yeah.
There's no need for both of them. So it's going to come down to one of them.
I think if I think It's Been a While is the better song. There is something to be said for putting forward the album version of Outside for anybody who didn't have Fred Durst running through their head like I did. Yeah. I'm willing to hear that out, but I think It's Been a While is kind of the better song. So I don't know.
I was leaning Outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like I said,
Go ahead, Justin.
If you guys are both on Outside, since it's the album version, I'm not going to stand in the way of it. I don't think we need both, and we've all kind of agreed on that. So
yeah.
So let's drop It's Been a While, and we'll keep. What's funny is I think, strangely enough, It's Been a While is kind of the meme for Stained. Is anytime somebody says
that's why I didn't have it at first.
Okay, so that's our that's war number 1. Number 2, I guess the other fight is Open Your Eyes versus Fade. So it's title or opening track rather versus single. I don't know how much, single plays into the conversation. But that's the way it plays out in my head is opening track versus single. Do you have an inclination on that, Ryan?
I'm going to go with opening track. Fade was not a big song for me.
Okay.
And I don't know what it is. It just wasn't my thing. So I would definitely take the opening track because that's a really good, like, it was a newer sound for them coming off of Dysfunction. I think that's a good way to start off.
I'm with it. All right. So now we've got, what did that put us up to? 5. So let's move on to these 14 Shades of Grey tracks. We've got one already in. How about you? So Still Alive is Price to Play, Yesterday, and Could It Be? I think this is like the more the more album representation question. Like, do we, I mean, I don't think we need 4. I don't think we need 4 from 14 Shades of Grey, right? Like, probably at max, one more.
I was going to say probably 2 off of that would be more than enough.
So,
Yeah.
So it's between Price to Play, Yesterday, and Could It Be? Honestly, I'm leaning towards Yesterday. I don't know if I'm wrong there.
I would have definitely said not Price to Play, and I would have put the other 2 up against each other, but they're very similar. They're very deep and then a big catchy hook.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost the same song.
Mm-hmm.
Are you leaning anyway, Brian?
Yeah, because now that I'm looking at the list, I'm like, yeah, you know what? We can make another single cut. If we had to. I mean, we do have Mud Shovel and Outside. So like I'm okay cutting Price to Play. But at the same time, like Ryan said, Yesterday and Could It Be are kind of similar. So do those 2 have to battle it out?
Yeah, I think it's one of those 2. It's one of those 2. I definitely don't think it's both.
Yeah. I would go with Yesterday if it were me. Well, it is me.
Yeah. It is you.
I am me.
Yeah. I'm leaning that way too. I mean,
okay.
It's basically a flip a coin situation, but I'm hearing Yesterday in my head right now, and to me it plays. Did I just flip this the wrong way? I sure did. Justin, why would you do that? There we go. And I'm afraid we may have cut too many because we're at 6, and we do have 4 alive. But this is it, Not Again, The Bottom, and technically I haven't axed out Could It Be yet.
Right.
So the question is, do all 4 of those go in? I think we all kind of agreed, we only take one of those 14 Shades of Grey. Does it, or do we go back to Break the Cycle and dust one of those off? Because do we all right, so let's tackle this first, before we leave 14 Shades of Grey. I mean, I know we've all kind of decided album representation doesn't matter, but we're sitting here right in front of it. We can get an Illusion of Progress song in. It's still alive. Do we want to go ahead and do it, or would we rather bring back some of the ones we've just cut?
So is Fade definitely out? Because Fade lost to Open Your Eyes, right?
Right. So technically, technically it is, but
okay.
I realized that we were cutting too many, so
right. Yeah, because we got the 2 bangers from the self-titled, and then we got This Is It. I can't count. 1, 2.
So the 6 that are in, the 6 that we've decided are in, are Suffocate, Mud Shovel, How About You, Outside, Open Your Eyes, and Yesterday. And then technically the 4 that are still alive, because I haven't X'd out Could It Be yet. Could It Be, This Is It, Not Again, and the bottom. So, I mean, you know, the question remains, do we really need 2 from self-titled? Because there's 2 alive, and the cuts we've already made suggest that, yeah, we do. But do we?
I mean, I like both these songs. I think they're both. I mean, to me, because it, I don't know. To me, I almost had them because like it shows that like Stain like went back to their roots, kind of, and got away from the, we'll say like more radio friendly like 2000s rock sound. And that's why I picked them, because I was like, oh my god, these are nasty, you know, like they're back to being sludgy and stuff.
So Ryan, you're the odd man out on both of those.
Yeah.
How do you feel about where we are right now? Do we just take those 4 that are still alive, or is there further conversation to have?
Excuse me. What was the other song off of self-titled? It was The Bottom, and what was else?
Not Again.
Not Again.
I'm looking at this album now. I couldn't tell you a song off of it, to tell you the truth.
I mean, there's credence to what Bryan is saying, as far as like showing, hey, by the way, that this is where they're at, or at least this is where they were on the last record, and what to expect possibly going into the newer record that's coming out.
Yeah.
But I mean, are we really about to make a list that has Not Again and the bottom, but Fade is sitting right there? You know?
Right.
I'd probably, as much as like I said, I didn't like Fade, I would pick it because it was a song I can honestly say I know it. Right. Going through the albums the other day, I know I've listened to the self-titled a handful of times, but nothing stands out on it for me.
So let's do this. Let's take one from self-titled. So do you have an inclination towards which one, Bryan? Not Again or the bottom?
Bottom.
Okay, I'm with it. So let's grab that one, and then we will drop Not Again.
Okay. And we bring Fade back.
Now, do we just go ahead and bump it in?
Well, I crossed it out in pen.
Because I mean, to me, it kind of works out. Like if we bring back Fade, and then we can bump in This Is It again. We're playing album representation, which we said doesn't matter, but
right.
And then the only questionable is, do we go ahead and bump Could It Be in as well, or does that's
or does Price to Play come back out or
something? So yeah, I mean, I guess that's the question: Price to Play or Could It Be? Now I know we said Could It Be and Yesterday are similar. Price to Play had some radio play. I don't. So, do you have an inclination, Ryan?
I would rather do Yesterday than Price to Play.
Yesterday's in.
No, what was it? Could It Be?
Could It Be? Okay, I'm with it.
I'd put Could It Be in over Price to Play, just because Price to Play, like you said, it was another single. We have a bunch of singles on there. Yep. You don't have to be a huge fan to have heard Price to Play. When it came out, it was all over the place.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that gives us our 10. Suffocate, Mud Shovel. How about you? Outside, Open Your Eyes, Yesterday, Fade, This Is It, The Bottom, and Could It Be? Now, Bryan, of those 10, which one's the one?
I mean, we can just go basic bitch and just say Mud Shovel. make our night easy.
I know, right? Like
But I mean that's the song that everyone's gonna expect when they do their 2023 year in review.
Uh-huh.
They're gonna go, oh, Mud Shovel.
And
Yeah.
Of course.
and I will say this: it stands a chance with nobody but maybe possibly Fredo. Like he might
Right.
give it up, but I think it's the only one that stands a chance with me and Fredo. When it comes to that, do you have another song you'd put up there, Ryan?
No, I that's like, if I'm going to put on a Stain song, that's probably where I'm going to start my day. So
Yeah.
I got no complaints about that one.
Let's do Mud Shovel then. Like I feel like I could make a case for Suffocate being, the number one. That is exactly what they do. But like there is just something about Mud Shovel that just it's stained. It's undeniably stained. So let's do it.
Oh yeah.
Make sure this thing's connected the way it's supposed to so I can read you the list. There we go. Well, we could start over. That would be nice. There we go. All right. So, with that, Mud Shovel is our number one. Suffocate, How About You, Outside, Open Your Eyes, Yesterday, Fade, This Is It, The Bottom, and Could It Be rounds out our top 10. Let's let Mud Shovel get a little moment of the sun. I feel the same. Sing for real. There we go. Stain, the new drug for your vein. You're welcome, folks. We did the work for you. See, it's Fred Durst.
Were you waiting all day to say that?
It's Fred Durst, man. He ruined it. He ruined it for me.
Yeah.
All right, we did it. We got you into Stained, and now you can listen to them and enjoy them. And hey, man, that means you've listened to this far. It would be really awesome. Whatever platform you're listening, give us a 5-star. That would be great. If you're on Spotify, you can give us 5 stars. If you're on Apple Podcasts, 5 stars in a review would be outstanding. I would appreciate that. Supposedly, it helps us in the algorithms. You could share the link. That would be super awesome too. If you are in the giving mood, patreon.com/ohhi. Justin's a great place to do so. $1 a month gets you in the door. It gets you deprogrammed before the rest of the world. It gets you the after the fact conversation that we will be having in T-minus, 5 minutes. It'll get you that and other random audio things that hit that feed every now and again. You also get access to certain channels in our Discord, which is the Legion of Stupid Discord. You can get access to that also by going to legionofstupid.com. If you scroll down just a little bit, you'll see the Discord image. Click on that. It'll be an invite link. You can come hang out in the Discord, count with us, replace you with dudes. All sorts of stuff happens in the Discord. Shoot, you want to just talk about, how we got this Stained list wrong? That's fine. Come yell at us about our lists. That's fun too. Like it's always, you never know, man. Like people were not happy about how Soon Is Now not making our list. So that conversation happened the other day. Like things happen in there. Come talk about it. It's fun. All right, and then you're already there at legionofstupid.com. You can listen to the show there if you'd like. But if you think you can do better, you think you can play better than Bryan and Ryan, that's where you sign up. You hit up the sign up sheet. You go to at the top. It says podcasts. You click deprogrammed. You go about halfway down. There's a sign up sheet. Tell me what band you want to talk about. And I'll get you in as soon as possible. There is a logjam currently. As soon as the logjam works out, I'm trying to work people in. And I promise you, we will talk about your band if we haven't already. So there's that. I already mentioned, subscribing, rating, commenting. That's supposed to help. But honestly, the best thing you could do that would help me more than anything I could ever say is telling somebody about the show. Hey, I listened to Deprogrammed. You should too. I would appreciate that more than I'd ever be able to put into words. So thank you in advance. And with that, Stain, learn them and love them, people. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.